Well, for more on the state of the pandemic in the UK and the impact it's having on the country, we're joined now by Chris Smith in Cambridge. He's a medical consultant specializing in clinical microbiology and virology at Cambridge University. Chris, thanks so much for joining us. First, I want to ask you, do you think the restrictions should have been lifted now at this point?
The words that the Prime Minister used to outline why this was happening were, if not now, then when? And the point he's making is that the same challenges that confront us now will confront us at any point in the near future. And in fact, the environment and the situation that is around us right now won't be available to us to help us. Because right now in the summertime, because the weather's warmer, more people are spending more time outside, the children are not at school, people are on their holidays, so there are fewer people in the workplace, and that means fewer people on public transport. And viruses tend to spread less well in the summertime anyway, for various reasons. So there are those sort of mitigating, propitious factors that have been offered up, which means that if we're going to do this, really now is the best time, because our health services are not being challenged by other things that come seasonally in big bursts, and we'll be here, sure as eggs is eggs, in the autumn. So it was a kind of now or never moment. And that's what they'd kind of promised the British public, and so I think they felt compelled to follow through.
What about some of the responses that we saw of these clubs having parties at midnight when the restrictions were being lifted? Was that responsible behaviour? Should have that been mitigated?
Well, actually, I was speaking to a nightclub owner this evening, and that nightclub owner said that they felt that they were kind of being pushed into this position a bit, because having had no activity for the best part of 18 months and no cash flow, they're now offered the opportunity to operate again and restore that cash flow and save their business. And this, on the one hand, is welcome, but on the other hand, they do feel there's an element of irresponsibility, because these clubs have 800 to 1,000 young people in them, and we have, in this country at least, prioritised the vaccination of people who are at the older end of the age spectrum and had excellent uptake there, but we have got a big gap in our vaccination coverage at the younger end of the age spectrum, because these people are last in the queue and they're only just beginning to be vaccinated, and also uptake is a bit lower among that group. So we've got largely a vulnerable population of people who are going out partying. Now, I don't blame them for going out partying, but it does seem a bit strange to encourage people out into a nightclub and then a few months later say, which is what they're going to do, say, well, you're going to need some kind of vaccine passport to go to that same nightclub. It seems rather contradictory to me.
UK businesses, as you mentioned, really needed this. How have they been faring, and I guess more importantly, how long do you think it'll take them to recover?
Well, actually, the evidence is that the economy is bouncing back very quickly and having a bumper time. Nowhere near what's been lost so far, and Britain's debts are eye-watering. We'll have spent the best part of £500 billion on this thing pretty soon, and that's going to take quite a long time to claw back. So the Chancellor of the Exchequer will be giving considerable thought and angst to how am I going to make all my money back. But they recognise that if they come in too firmly, too harshly, too quickly, then this would actually put the fire out, which is burning beneath the economy again. So there are certain sectors of the economy which are doing very well and are booming, actually, but equally there are other parts of the economy which have been hit extremely hard: hospitality, entertainment, festivals, the kinds of things actually we value very much as human beings, the kinds of things we love the opportunity to go and do because they restore our mental well-being. Those industries are having a very tough time, and so they welcome the opportunity to get back to business.
Well, the British do love their holidays. Do we expect the summer to be filled with Brits going abroad to beaches abroad, or will they be staying domestic?
Well, a lot of people are electing to do a staycation this year. They did last year to an extent as well. There was some overseas travel, but to be honest, the uncertainty, the unpredictability is putting a lot of people off. That, together with the cost, you can turn up at the airport and find that fulfilling all of the requirements for testing and all these different regimes of testing and isolation at different places, and if you go somewhere and then it changes from an amber country to a red country, or an amber country up to a red country, you can end up having to isolate for longer than your holiday lasted, and the cost of the testing can actually be more expensive than your holiday. This is doing wonders for the British hospitality industry, encouraging people to stay home, but the problem is there's a knock-on effect. Every year 15 million UK citizens go to Spain on their holidays, or they did, and now they're seeking a sunny beach here in the UK, and we're running out of beach space. So we're in danger of people actually ending up overcrowding on our own sort of tourism destinations. So I suppose you win some, you lose some.
All right, Chris Smith from Cambridge University, thank you for your insight.
You're welcome.